Given the level of economic recklessness and embezzlement of public funds, it has become almost a national embarrassment in Nigeria. The crime of embezzlement is a widespread crime in the present-day Nigeria. It impairs the property relation protected by the law and the reputation of state organs and personnel. The party in power and the current Buhari-led government in Nigeria have always persisted in fighting corruption and building clean and honest government and concentrated on using legal weapons to fight the crime of embezzlement resolutely. Meanwhile, it should be recognized that the crime is still a serious problem which hinders Nigeria's great cause of reform and opening up the outside world. In particular, during this period of transformation, the crime of embezzlement in this country shows many new characteristics. Today on Public Announcement, we look at some of the effects of misappropriating funds in Nigeria, the history of this trend, and what Nigerians feel about this. Welcome to Public Announcement. Recent happenings in the country makes it seem like if you do not steal or embezzle public funds, you are not recognized. Nobody says that people should not enjoy what they do. However, the brazen disrespect for public funds in the country is outrageous and horrendous. Nigerian politicians have been arraigned in court in recent times for mismanagement of public funds. Ordinarily, this should be a thing of joy as it shows those who have tried to enrich themselves with public funds are being brought to book. However, it appears the whole thing now looks like a mockery and deceit of the Nigerian citizens. If not, how else should one explain crowds gathering to sing the praises of those arraigned in court for fraud and embezzlement? Every time someone is taken to court, there are people who will be dressed in uniforms in support of those individuals, clapping, singing and raining curses on the supposed enemies. There are people waiting to see their big men granted bail.
Well, that is the bane of our society. That is the major problem in Nigeria. And I don't want us to delude ourselves that it's ever going to end, because really when you think about it, it's everywhere. Even in the US, even in the UK. The only difference is that those people deliver. In Nigeria, we just want to do this, take everything. Highly irresponsible. Nothing, no services provided, no accountability. I had to confront this. And, I say, start with yourself. Say to yourself, this is what I'm going to do, and this I will not do. If we all just took care of our sphere of influence, then bit by bit, we begin to change the society.
All right, there's something I understand about this life. The truth is, when you see money, trust me, it only takes someone that has the fear of God. And the truth is, people will steal, but you have to steal with sense and do the project which you're being given before you can steal. You don't get 10,000 naira for a project and you steal 9,000 naira and you execute that project. Sometimes these people don't even execute the project. So I think I'm not saying they should steal, but my brother, okay, they are not my brother, they are actually elders. That is, if you have to steal with sense and still carry out the project. Thank you.
Like you said, misappropriation of funds, you understand, definitely we have a negative effect. You understand, but the most important thing is discipline. You understand, in any situation that you are, it might be in government, it might be a CEO of a company or whatever. The first thing is actually to be disciplined, and once you have that discipline, for example, like myself, I get paid salary at Quilox. So even if Quilox is meant to be like a public entity, there is no way that such can happen here. You understand, because of the way that I've been disciplined, from day one. It gives a negative effect, on the growth of a business, definitely.
It has always actually been like that. Like, we always misappropriate funds, use money for one thing was not supposed to use and for another thing. I do not even know what to say about it anymore, but I just hope that one day it gets better in our country and they can actually use money for the right purposes. Anyway, if they're not using them for the right purpose, I don't buy whistleblower things.
If it is properly structured, then we won't have to go through, issues like that. I mean, money will be handed to the right people and people who can deliver. I think, as simple as that.
Yeah, the effect of misappropriation of funds in the society, I would just say, is just going to kill the society. It's going to kill the country. It's just going to break the society because if funds are not channeled to where they're meant to channel, to where it is meant to channel, then there's going to be a problem because there won't be forward movements. Even if it is a normal business and you don't channel the funds where it is meant to be, then the business is going to collapse. So, it's like the country economy is going to collapse if that keeps happening. So we need to really have a solution to that now. So, yeah, that's it.
Definitely, it plays a role in corruption, definitely, because when you are misappropriating funds, you understand, it shows that the funds are not used for what it's meant to be used for. And when it's not used for what it's meant to be used for, then definitely, it's corruption.
That's why Nigeria is like this. Nigeria is very rich. That money they saw that day would have been used to bless one or two people. In fact, not even one or two people. It would have been used to build roads in different places. You know what we're saying? So misappropriation of funds is really eating up the economy. It's really affecting the economy negatively. So it's very wrong. I would like politicians to take note and do the right thing.
The question is, who pays for the uniform? Who organizes these events when the individuals in question were supposed to be hounded in cells? It is easy to stand alongside the great affirmation that we are a part of a moral universe of which we're just as real a part as our bodies are a part of the physical world. The starry heavens above and the moral law within was Kant's expressive phrase. But there is no solace, no help for standing against the overwhelming in either the physical world or the moral law. It's believed that there is no possible compromise between good and evil. You may say, who is to decide which is which? That's a debating point, and there's something in it. Borderline cases abound, and in this, tolerance is essential. But in the main issues which have threatened and afflicted our country, Nigeria, there's no doubt whatever between good and evil. There are certain moral imperatives which we cannot get away from at any hour, and that they apply even to the daily round of the lives of political office holders and those put in position of trust. It appears we're not concerned enough with the fact that Nigeria is going mechanically and morally backward. It follows that for what is in essence inexcusable, we must make no allowances. Refusal to equate right and wrong in any work of life will bring no great success and may involve some obloquy. People who have misappropriated public funds have responsibilities in their hometowns, their state and the country at large which they have left. In a democratic country, whenever we cast our votes, we contribute in a very real sense towards guiding the country's destiny. Therefore, those entrusted with public funds by the way of their political status, who misuse them, have cases to answer and should be seen to do so.
I think that one has been in existence for long. Yeah. So I don't think I have anything to say about that. If we should say we need to maybe we should protest against it, we keep continuing. Of course, we all know that. So I'm sorry, I don't have anything more to say about that than what I've just said.
Yeah. They are just fooling themselves, thinking that they are punishing the masses. Because at a moment you will go, and where you go, you have to give account of how you spend your life here on earth to God. And the money you hide or you stole, you are nowhere to eat it. You are nowhere to spend it. But when you are still existing, it's of you to release the money that others will enjoy it and you make a good name. Even in the presence of God, you will be a good person. If I'm to see them or I'm to go closer to them, I will advise them to repent. Let them have the fear of God in their life.
Well, I'm not seeing any effect on it. It's just that Nigerians, we practically like to see an entity before we go ahead. More or less like we say, Christ. If you don't get to the church, you don't believe if you pray, it could be answered at the comfort of your house until you get to the church. So that's the way I see that part.
I think it's part of the corruption that the Nigerian system has been. And there is no way you're going to stop that at first. Because even the Buhari regime telling us that it's going to fight corruption, it's still not going to work. That's what about it.
That has been happening for a very long time. Misappropriation of funds has been happening for a very long time, since the day of MK Abiola, since. So I think that's what Buhari is trying to do right now. And I don't think he'll be able to finish the job he started. So we just hope for the best. But that corruption in Nigeria, I think before it can be cleared, it has to go a very, very long way.
We all know that they are embezzle money, but all this money, we didn't see it. And all the money they recover back, we didn't see it. They should give accounts for all this money. So things will be okay. If we start to be hiding money, isolate money, it won't help. One head can help thousands. We know we all have talent. So God will help us.
But though definitely it's bad. Misappropriation of funds is bad. It's not good to use the resources that belong to the masses. Few citizens will not embezzle the money for their own selfish aggrandizement. It's definitely not that to.
Well, this embezzlement of funds, first of all, it kills the confidence that the foreign investors have in the country. Once you keep embezzling funds, and it seems like the system is not doing anything about it. So people that could, let me say, the foreign investors that could come into the country to invest won't come into the country because, first of all, they see that the policy of the country is not strong enough to make them come into the country. That means they are not secured. They are not safe. Even though they come invest in the country today, what's the assurance that their funds are secured? So it has a very, very strong effect. It doesn't give confidence about the country to other country. It doesn't make other people in other country have confidence in the country they are coming to invest in. It's diminishing the effects of the foreign investors coming into Nigeria because they don't have confidence in the country.
You tell me, I will tell you that the corruption cannot eradicate from this country because all the investment of the money in this country is circulate within themselves. So that is the reason why the fight cannot continue.
I think everybody is corrupt. So that's why you see everybody just wants to get there and cut the national cake. They just want to get their own share. They always have that corrupt mindset. So everybody's just having that, they're just being selfish. So a lot of people don't really have the interest of the nation at heart. They just want to get there and get their own share. So everybody's corrupt.
The leaders have been embezzling money from the onset. So it's not even Buhari that can do it. Buhari, with the kind of ministers he has, I don't think he can be able to do anything about that. You know, you can see them now. What's that man? Audu Ogbe. See, we are in a jet age. So in a computer age, and everything now is being based on how accurate it can be able to research. So those old men, how can they be able to do all those things? They cannot do it now. For crying out loud. So the best thing I've told you before, and I'm still telling you again that this government had failed, and just forget about everything.
I don't really have much to say about that, but I feel it's our mentality. Do you understand? I feel it's a mentality because if in our institutions and where we are, people are being raised or taught to do the right thing, embezzlement shouldn't be an issue that we should be facing in our country. I mean, everybody should be looking at making the country a better place. That's what I feel. Because for you to start embezzling money that is meant for the public, I mean, it's crazy. It's really crazy. And it's just a mindset because it's poverty. Poverty is not when you have all the money and all the car and all the good things.
This stuff has been happening, not today. It keeps happening every time, and we keep fighting. We cannot just keep. I don't know. We keep doing these things, steady, non-stop. I don't know. Someone said something like I think they should introduce this death by hanging to anyone. I was just laughing that. But I'm telling you, because if they don't implement a kind of a strong law that will back that out, people will keep doing these things. They will keep embezzling. They will keep taking this money, picking it out of the country. So I think they need to just enforce a strong law. It should not just put them in prison. You see someone embezzle money now. They will catch him, put him in prison. He will come back and celebrate that he's out of the prison. What's that? And people will gather and celebrate with him. For you, they'll put him back in another power again, give him another position. No, we need to create that strong structure to make sure we fight corruption and fight that. I think government needs to do a lot.
The management and control of funds in the public sector revolves around towards responsibility and accountability. This has to do with the honest application of funds and in compliance with proper procedures, ensuring that these funds are spent on properly approved items and within the budgeted level. In spite of its paramount importance in the economy, This complex sector has failed to live up to the expectations of bringing the policies and programs of the government fruition. Cases of financial indiscipline, like embezzlement of public funds by public office holders, are very rampant nowadays. Depletion of public pulse is no longer a new scenario. Most public office holders venture into this sector and come out unprecedentedly rich. Astonishing is the way these undesirable elements embezzle these funds and go scot-free. That Nigeria is known as the third most corrupt nation in the world is not an overstatement. This is largely as a result of financial misappropriation that is ravaging the public sector. When it comes to public funds, people seem to put aside their moral values. Financial integrity is hardly seen in the public sector. Worse still is the effrontery being exhibited by these perpetrators even when caught red-handed. Unfinished product, non-payment of salaries and pension, and so on, were as a result of misappropriation of public funds in the public sector. No single day will pass without a report on misappropriation of funds in the public sector. This entails the diversion of misuse of funds earmarked for a specified project or program for another unconstitutional selfish purpose. The magnitude is unbearable. One may rightly ask, is the financial statute vis-a-vis public sector not explicit on the way and manner this fund should be utilized? Or is it a resolution among public accounting officers to toe the path of financial indiscipline? Financial profligacy is another phenomenon that is wreaking serious havoc in the public sector. There is an accentuated, unbridled and unnecessary squandering of funds in the public sector. About 95% of Nigerians see the public fund as a national cake that falls from heaven. This attitudinal imbalance had led many of these public office holders to be improvident. The ripples of this overspending are felt all over the economy. Government has continued to run budget deficit, which has had adverse effect on diminishing our gross national product, thus putting the living standard of the citizenry on the decline. This equally has rendered most public sector organizations moribund. No wonder the government is calling for privatization of most of these public sector organizations. Non-performance of these sectors as a result of misappropriation of funds meant for their operation must not be far from what informed government decision to privatize them. The question many people are asking is the financial regulations as enshrined in Finance Act 1958 so weak in combating this menace? Are there no procedures for managing and controlling of funds in the public sector? If we have, are they weak or do public officers neglect them? Is there no innovation that could be plugged into funds management and control system of this public sector or enable it live up to the expectation? Well, we took to the streets of Lagos to find out from Nigerians on what they think about this trending topic.
It has negative effects, which the masses are suffering. We are actually suffering about it. So, let's take for instance the economic recession. If not for the embezzlement of the money, I believe if we have enough fund, there won't be economic recession. So that's all I have to say about that.
They are looking for those that embezzle the money. I mean, EFCC, all this trying to hold them that shouldn't be embezzling money. And that is what brings you and I to be crying today. You know why? Those people that thought that they embezzled the money, instead of them bringing out to spend, they will be afraid that if they caught them. My brother, what I will advise is that give what belongs to Caesar, and the whole part of this thing is just everybody should what? Fear God. When you say change, it will start from you. You do the right thing, I do the right thing. Everybody within us will enjoy us. We'll carry them along. They will call us a good name. They will come closer to us. Nobody will feel cheated. Nobody will feel mistreated. That's what I see. To me, this what they are fighting, what they are doing as if fighting corruption is bringing negative impact to Nigerians.
It's everywhere. Misappropriation of funds is everywhere. All I can just say is let's try to curb it and reduce it more than the way it has eaten up our economy.
Because the economy is stagnant, and that's the reason why we got into this recession, that they keep telling us that we are in recession. Because I think it's this missing on funds that leads to this. So that's what I feel about it. So the economy is going to be stagnant. That's what happens.
The negative effect is that the people embezzling the money don't want anybody to review them. You understand? So I think they are trying to block some ways that will benefit Nigeria as a whole, that will make our country to be okay.
The negative is it's going to be dragging us back, but By God's grace, we will get there. The way I'm seeing the economy, we are progressing gradually. It might be a bit tough, but we are progressing. So that's all I can say on that.
It will affect economics because, you know, human being, we are all human being. When you say that we should recover money back, I don't sure that it's all this money that we recover back. So it will surely affect because they don't let this money to circulate. So it must surely affect.
Yes, of course. It tells inflation. There's a lot of money in the country, but we are not seeing the money in circulation. The money is not being circulated. So it's a problem. It's a problem. And the cost of living, is everybody, we are not enjoying it. We're not enjoying it.
The negative effect is you can see me now with a uniform. This is not federal government work and this is not state government work. It's a parliamentary, it's a contract work. All this embezzlement of this fund is making us to lack many things in this country, food and basic amenities. It makes the youth, especially the women's, it make them to enter prostitution. It make the young men to enter some kind of job that they deserve to do. You understand? Me presently, you can see the kind of job I'm doing. It's not what for me. You understand?
That's the negative aspect there. And the positive aspect is that it will boost our economy if they are using it in the right place. So I think that's the positive aspect of it.
Well, I'll just advise all those that are in power to curb. It's not the way it was before. And they should not compare what we get from our crude oil sales then to now. So we should curb the way we spend. With that, I believe we'll progress. That's all I have to say on that.
It has a negative effect.
What are these effects?
I think since we have a wrong mentality, so it's affecting, it's just like a virus. So it goes down there. So you transfer what you have to your next generation, and that is what is affecting everybody.
This thing is being affected in every sector. People are crying here and there. In fact, there's no money. I don't know what they're doing. Maybe they are keeping it for 2019 for campaign. But as you can see, the economic is down. Nothing is working. No sector is working. Both agricultural sector, no sector is working in Nigeria. This is as good as cephalus. We don't have any leader in Nigeria. We don't have a working leadership in Nigeria.
The negative effects, we can see it all around. We can see it all around. Today, are we not suffering a recession? Of course, if those monies were in place, we shouldn't be saying recession, right? That's the way I feel. Or that's what I think.
Well, we have agencies, we have government agencies. They should do their work. And there shouldn't be witch hunting. You only go after one side and you don't go after the other side. I mean, we can see some of the things that are happening. We talk about it. We bring it up in the media. Do something about everyone. You shouldn't. Some people cannot be corrupt and you're chasing after the other side because they don't belong to a particular political party. I'm a politician, so I've got to say that. So make it fair and just. Rein in everybody and anybody. Don't just make it one-sided.
So the economic effect of this embezzlement of money, you can see it in everywhere. Everybody's crying. Even the households that voted for Buhari, they are crying too. Do you understand? I called one of my friends in the north. I was shouting "Say Baba." He said I should not come to Abuja and shout "Say Baba," that they will put knife inside my belly. That's just it. This is the effect. The direct effect of it. It just and it will ripples with time. Do you understand me? The economy is down. Look at dollars today. Look at pounds. Look at what is happening in forex. I mean, it can tell you what is happening in Nigeria.
For instance now, look at our road, look at our environment, look at there is no lights, look at the schools, look at the children. Have you ever been to that Ajegole side, been to that Shomolu side, been to that all those sides, been to that Bariga side? You see those sides, some of those places ain't cool at all. All this money they thief, if you say the normal one, they go normal. Everybody for there, alright, you understand? Lights for they forget steady lights, we forget good road, good hospitals and everything. So I think they just need to do something. You check out other states, other countries, they're doing perfectly well. Just for instance, look at Dubai. Just the deserts. but they have the same thing we have oil, and they did well for me. Said, look at how everybody is like the #1 top city in the world now. Everybody is going to Dubai to go and check it out. So our government, I don't know. We're just praying to God.
And it's on that note we end today's episode of Public Announcement. Join us next time for another episode. And until then, it's goodbye.